that his little daughter was lonely and sad since her dear mother had died. "I'll marry that nice widow with the 2 daughters," said Ella's father. "Then dear little Ella will have 2 delightful stepsisters with whom to play in this large mansion with." Regretfully, Ella's father was also a poor judge of character. The nice widow was a spiteful and cruel woman. After their marriage, she persuaded Ella's father to leave all his fortune to her. She convinced the naive man that if he should die, she would use all his money to properly care for dear little Ella. As Ella's father was writing his will, he wisely decided to leave the large house to Ella. Then sadly, a year to the day after his marriage to the widow, Ella's father, who was an elderly gentleman, quite suddenly died. Quickly, Ella's stepmom began to show her true self. She made Ella work from morning until night, cleaning the large mansion. Soon, Ella was wearing rags for clothes. She was always covered with ashes and cinders because she had to clean the fireplace every day. Her mean stepmom and spiteful stepsisters began to call her Cinderella because she spent so much time sweeping the cinders. Thank goodness Cinderella had the mice. They were her only friends. Alas and alack, poor Cinderella had to work hard every day. "Cinderella, Cinderella," her mean stepsisters would yell, "come wash the dishes, then sweep the cobwebs, and don't forget to turn out the lights." It was enough to make brave Cinderella sad at times. Came home from a very strenuous day of shopping. "Cinderella, pick up that broom. You know how much money brooms cost nowadays. And remember, it is my money that pays for those brooms," screamed stepmom. Prince and Pratt giggled and began opening their shopping bags. "Look, Cinderella," they said, "we bought you some new things. A new dustpan, another new whisk broom. You like the Duchess of this dustpan and the Baroness of this broom, laughed Prissy Pratt. Yeah, said Neil's stepmom. You're the princess of this house. This whole house belongs to you. Ha! But look what we bought for ourselves. More beautiful clothes, said stepmom. Stepmom then looked at her two beloved daughters and then cast a scornful eye at Cinderella. It seemed that no matter how much money was spent on Pris and Pratt, it made no difference. They were both still very plain girls, and Cinderella, even covered in ashes and dirt, was still a very beautiful young woman. Drat, said stepmom. My two precious girls and I are the ladies of this house. Yes, it seemed that stepmom really and truly hated mice. Suddenly, there was a loud knock at the door. Pris jumped up. I'll get it, she screamed. No, you won't. You got it last time. I'll get it. Mother, make her get away from the door, whined Pratt. Neither one of you will answer the door. Remember, girls, you are ladies. Cinderella, you answer the door, hissed stepmom. In walked royal messengers from the queen. We have a royal proclamation, they announced. Come on, everybody, to the castle ball. Everyone's invited, even young and small. The queen has decided that the prince must have a wife. So come on, everybody, to the dance tonight. Come on, everybody, to the castle ball. Everyone's invited, even young and small. The queen has decided that the prince must have a wife. So come on, everybody, to the dance tonight. as beautiful as they could possibly be. Someone had to agree. Prince and Pratt looked at each other and smiled. They knew that they were Mama's favorites. We're Mama's favorites, and Chelsea, my name's Bob. We're daughters of the swings. She said, Pratt, when our reputations see the wall, Mama was trying to polish shoes and half our size, and ball gowns to match our arms. We're Mama's favorites, my name's Brad and my name's Chris. We're going to the ball and maybe we'll get kissed, and maybe the prince will fall in love with one of us.
Mama's favorite dance will be worth all the fuss.
After Stepmom, Prince and Pratt had left for the castle ball, Cinderella was alone with her friends, the mice. You should go to the dance, Miss Ella, said one of the mice. You are the most beautiful young woman in all the kingdom, said the other mouse. Cinderella smiled and patted the little mice on their heads. She knew that she would never be able to go to a royal dance. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do about Miss Ella? We'll sit here all of the day, dreaming our life away, swimming with cinders, loving Cinderella. Cinderella is her name. You know she sweeps the cinders. What a way to get some fame! What used to care and moving mountains? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do about Miss Ella? What are we going to do about Miss Ella? Cinderella went to her chair to rest for a moment. Suddenly she realized that it was getting dark outside and the bright evening stars were beginning to twinkle. Look, said Cinderella, there's a wishing star. I used to wish upon that star when I was little. I wonder if it still works. Maybe I'll try wishing just one more time. off the Queen's royal messengers carrying a royal velvet pillow. And atop the pillow was a gold shoe. Chris, Pratt, and the mice quickly jumped up.
Looking for this right foot, for this left shoe. It was left up the promised path. We have measured every step. We have measured every soul. Though the princess declared in the owner of the shoe, his royal heart has tried. His legs with the strap on, but it might be the one.
Chris and Pratt tried their best to make the gold shoe fit. They screamed in anguish as the royal messengers tried the shoe on each of them. The shoe fits both of them, Stepmom exclaimed. They are merely screaming of joy over finding their lost shoe. But the messengers shook their heads in disbelief. Then suddenly, the messengers saw the little mice jumping up and down and pointing to Cinderella's foot. Stepmom quickly realized what was going on and tried her best to hide Cinderella's foot with her long skirt. The mice persisted. At last, the royal messengers decided to let Cinderella try the shoe. And of course, the shoe was a perfect fit. As
We finally found this right foot, for this left shoe. We were perfectly promised path. We have measured every step. We have measured every soul. Though the princess declared that the owner of the shoe, his royal heart has won. Lucky for love, Cinderella. Looks like you are one.
As Cinderella and the mice ran into her room to collect her meager belongings, Stepmom, Chris, and Pratt began recovering from their stunned silence. It's really wonderful what's happened to our dear child, Cinderella, cooed Stepmom. She'll make a wonderful wife for the dear prince. I'm sure that our sweet relative will not forget her own dear mother and two loving sisters when she anoints the royal ladies of her court. Yeah, we can become real royalty now, said Chris. You might even become a duchess or maybe a baroness, gloated Pratt. Ha ha! A mere duchess or baroness. Never, girls. We are going to become princesses. Do you realize what this means? We have climbed to the ladder of society right up to the top rung. We have made it. And all because of dear, sweet, loving Cinderella.
Climbing the ladder of society, living as standards by propriety, keeping up with the Joneses as big families. Now that the Joneses must be left with little me, climbing the ladder every round I run. We reach the lion's park by night. We are the queens of the stairs so high, 'cause we've climbed the ladder to the sky. Climbing the ladder every round by round, we reach the lion's den by night. We are the queens of this little hive, 'cause we've climbed the ladder to the sky.
Cinderella had packed her suitcase. She, the mice, and the messengers were ready to leave for the castle. But Stepmom had big plans. Oh, dear child, gushed Stepmom. We were just discussing your royal court. Perhaps you have had time to think about whether you want Chris, Pratt, and maybe me to live in the castle with you? Yeah, echoed Chris. We thought we might be your duchesses or baronesses, or maybe even your princesses. What do you think, Cinderella? Oh, I think that I will turn you into royalty right now. You deserve it. Why wait? Laughed Cinderella. Yes, Charlie had done it again. A special wish had come true. And, oh dear, Prince wants to speak to the audience? I must say, this is unprecedented.
Hold it! I've had enough of this baloney. Dear people, please listen. I went to the palace ball, and I stayed until the ball was over, like a proper guest should. I was exhausted, yes, but I stayed there. And my feet swelled and swelled from all that dancing, and now my foot does not fit into the golden slipper, and I do not get to marry the prince? Is that fair? Is it? I ask you to think about that, dear audience. This fairy tale is not fair.
Get to change the end of the fairy tale, does she? Don't I get to live with the prince and live happily ever after?
Well, since I'm the person telling the fairy tale, I will assure you that, yes, you do. Cinderella married the prince in a beautiful wedding that was the talk of the tiny town kingdom for years. And according to fairy tale history, which is the truest kind, they all lived
Happily ever after!